Now, many of you already know that in Europe right now, Nio has got total battery swapping stations of around 60, right? And the reason why it has been slow in terms of the battery swapping stations that Nio is deploying, it's because of the tariffs, which is something that obviously the Nio CEO, if you listen to his interview with the CEO of ZF Group is a partner to Nio, which help Nio or which partnered with Nio when it comes to the technology of the steer-by-wire, which you see on the 89. He said, when the ZF Group CEO said they should bring the 89, or Nio should consider bringing the 89 to Europe, if you go and play that video, you will notice that his response, though it was cut short, he highlighted something, and that is, he said the problem with Europe is the tariffs. So because of the tariffs, it hinders Nio from taking some of their products that side, because with those or with these current tariffs, there is not much sales they can do in Europe. But obviously Norway, because there are no tariffs there, Nio can still continue to sell their cars in Norway, because Norway did not partake or participate into imposing tariffs onto Nio last year, when the other EU countries imposed 20.8% on all of the Nio models that go to China. So tariffs remain a problem. Tariffs remain something that hinders Nio's expansion and other Chinese EV cars. I mean, Nio got 20.8% of tariffs, but there are other EV car makers that got even almost 40%, right? Or which is something that is not good at all, right? But the good thing is that China and EU, they've been having an engagement, and they are hoping that they find a solution soon and scrape away the tariffs completely, which is something that is great, and hopefully that will open doors for EV makers like Nio to go out there in Europe and be able to compete and do very well. The reason why I'm telling you all this is because even when you look into the deployment of battery swapping stations in Europe, like I said, there are around 60 battery swapping stations. The number has not been growing simply because of the demand, simply because of the tariff, simply because of what we are seeing between EU and China, right? The tensions. I think that is the reason why we are seeing even battery swapping stations in Europe not being that much. I mean, there's a guy, or rather there's an article that was, I think, shared, that highlighted something like the Nio power team in Europe has been reduced or cut down to now 5 people, right? Don't know how many people were there previously, but apparently there are now 5 people under Nio power, and this is because Europe, Nio, and other Chinese car makers, they are not doing well at all because of the tariffs that are there, because of the escalations in the tariffs that EU imposed onto EV makers like Nio. So until there is a solution for Europe in terms of reducing or cutting tariffs, then it will be difficult, or it will remain difficult for companies or Chinese EV makers like Nio to penetrate the European market. But I believe that as the rumors have been saying, solution will be reached soon. I mean, there's a EU-China summit coming, I think July, and hopefully by then all these things would have been resolved, which will be so good for even our very own Nio. So tariff remain the biggest hindrance of Nio penetrating the European countries, but obviously by the end of this year, the new CEO has also reiterated that they will be present into plus 20 countries outside of China, which is something that is great. And their strategy, which we have already discussed, is that they are going to partner with local dealerships in Europe to help them sell their car, which is something that is a great approach, because look, in as much as Nio is doing well or can do well in China and sell all those 450,000 cars in China, they still need the European market to grow. They need a global presence, which is why it is important that they find ways, a solution to penetrate the European market. For Norway, you will know that Firefly is expected to start sales there around August. It has been launched price-wise, it's starting around $26,000, which is not that bad, right? And hopefully a lot of people can be able to afford this. And cars like Firefly in Europe, usually do well. Small cars do well, which is why even the 85 Touring, it was primarily made for Europe, but part of the reason why it did not do that well, it was because of the price, right? That car starts around $42,000 in China, and can you imagine how much that car is in Europe? I can tell you now that it's not anything, probably less than $50,000, and that is quite pricey. That is expensive, and it makes it very difficult for Nio to sell that car there in Europe. But otherwise, that kind of car has got a market, and Firefly coming with the starting price of 26,000, I think you and me can agree that at least that can bring some success onto Nio, because then from plus minus $50,000 to 26,000, half of the amount of price they are selling their Nio cars, I think Firefly could bring some massive breakthroughs to Nio, which will result or positively also impact the total battery swapping stations that they get to deploy into Europe. You will know that Firefly is not compatible with obviously the existing battery swapping station that Nio has been deploying, but next year, beginning of next year, the 5th generation battery swapping station will be compatible with the Firefly sub-brand, which is just so great, something that is massive, and it makes me to just want to load the boat, because if the Firefly sub-brand does well in Europe, it means that battery swapping stations also will be deployed. 5th gen battery swapping station will be deployed in masses, which is something that we want to see, something that hopefully next year we start seeing the blue sky also in Europe. That is what we are looking forward to. Cross fingers, hopefully Nio does very, very well. So yeah, man, I just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. Blue sky is coming. Long term will win. Those that are persevering throughout the headwinds of the share price will most definitely be rewarded with time. Share this video to people that you know they are following Nio and they might still not know what's happening around Europe. When I checked, I realized that the reason why Europe has been slow is because of tariffs, which, yeah, the sooner the solution comes from both countries, the engagements, and tariffs are scraped away completely, it will be just so great for EV makers like Nio, because then they will be able to make some good money in Europe. Also, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless you all.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but